Hello, my name is Russ Simon, and I am a host on Skool for the community Stronger Over 40. And I'm excited to invite you to become a part of our Stronger Over 40 club. It's for men 40 and older who are seeking to reclaim their strength, their stamina, their energy, their confidence, their clarity, and just feel alive again. I just turned 49 this past week, and so that is why I'm celebrating with 49 days of free to come join my community. You can check out the link. It will be in the description of this YouTube video, or if you're watching this on social media, look in my bio or in the description of the video that I'm giving you here today. Today, we are going to be talking about why you would want to make fiber your friend. Fiber is your friend, and so let's figure that out. However, before we jump into that, I do want to make sure that I give you the introduction to Skool, the invitation, and that when you come, bring a friend because remember, friend was Skool is always way more fun with friends, right? So Skool is more fun with friends. And we do have a new member. So want to celebrate that. We are up to 19. So we got Ryan. Ryan is our most recent member. Welcome, Ryan. Go grab a friend. Remember, it's more fun with friends. And yeah, come join us. So if you're watching for the first time today, I may be referencing some videos and other stuff you can catch up. I've created a playlist, but just come to Skool, get in for free. It's free before December 1st. That's going to be the 49-day stretch that we're going. Then we're jumping into more stuff like the 24 days of Christmas to get you ready. And remember, even between now and then, we got two holidays coming up that we can still keep you fit and faithful during that time with Halloween and Thanksgiving. You can still enjoy those while moving towards your goals and leaning into the identity of the healthy, fit person that you are, energetic and full of life. All right, well, let's jump into today's topic. It is fiber. I'm trying to decide, even on the fly right now, if I show my lunch first or if we go into the video into this first. So maybe let me show you what I'm doing for lunch. So one of the things I do is before I eat lunch, a little bit before, I will have a large 24-ounce water bottle. This is just the bottle that I use for water. Thanks, Pam. My sister-in-law got that for me. And then I'll put that off to the side. I've got my protein, 40 grams of protein that I'm going to get. If you missed, I'll be talking a lot about protein and why 40 grams at our age. But if you, it's easy to remember 40 years and older, 40 grams is going to be better for you to get effective protein synthesis. And oh, I should do. I forgot to talk about yesterday. Yesterday we talked about minimal effective dose, which you'll need to know just a little bit about as we head into it. So I'm going to pause on my lunch for just a second. Minimal effective dose is, let's bring this in, what you are going to need to hit your results. So it's not just the next minimum step you're willing to take, but whatever the result is, it's whatever that step is to meet the result that you're trying to hit. So if I want to make water boil, I need to go from whatever degree I'm at to 212. So if I'm at 211, yeah, it's a littler step, but if I'm at 200, then it's more work that I got to do to get there. And that is okay because we want to hit the stress, the stretch, and the sweat in whatever it happens to be. I preach five core, really, pillars when it comes to our health and wellness, which begins with we want to get good recovery from our sleep. We want to have great hydration as we get started because we dehydrate in the night and hydration fills our body with energy. We want to get good mindfulness and get the mindful energy with us and lock into our identity. Again, I've got a video about that. We're going to hit our movement and keep our body going. And then we're going to hit our nutrition, which is going to power all of that, right? So, yeah, stress, stretch, and sweat relate to all those, whether literally or metaphorically on that one. Okay. So, again, and I've got like our Tylenol here, one every 4 hours. That would be the minimal effective dose. You take less than that, it's not going to be really effective to get the result that you want. You take more, you get a totally different result. So, but think about that. You could check out that video, but you got to know minimal effective dose a little bit to jump into what we're doing with fiber today. And I think my wife's going to be really excited that I chose broccoli and our avocado friend for fiber. They're both great sources of fiber, both soluble and insoluble. And so I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. Let me introduce to you the other characters for lunch today. I've got an apple, soluble and insoluble fiber, and I've got peanuts, mostly soluble because it doesn't have the outside to go with it. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. You ready to talk fiber and why fiber should be your friend? Well, ready or not, here we go. Okay, I've made it a practice to start putting up more text to use as both an outline, but also to keep the videos flowing so you're not here for as long, but you still get the information you need so you can take it and start acting on it. Okay, why fiber? First, let's hit the minimal effective dose. Do you know what the minimal effective dose is that you need to have from fiber, both soluble and insoluble, to be able to get the results that your body needs to be able to keep its cholesterol down, keep its sugar regulated, and keep you flowing with good bowel movements? Any idea? Pause to think for a sec. 30 to 40 grams is what we're looking at. You could top it 38. I'm going to use 40 in ours because 40 is just a little bit more. If we're shooting for that, we're probably going to hit 38, and it goes with our stronger over 40, 40 grams of protein to get the day started. It's an easy number for us to remember. So shoot for 40. Now, what do you think is the average that most people get? Only 18 to 20 grams. So we are hurting ourselves and we're helping the fiber industry when we could be doing this. Man, if we were getting our natural fiber, we would be getting so many more nutrients. Our cholesterol would look great. Our blood sugar would look great. We would feel much better. And so now I understand there are people on different types of eating lifestyles where you're going to have to be strategic about how you get your fiber. You're going to need it in some way. But yeah, this is for the general public. You've got to dial that in, and I could coach you too, but I'm certain if you're on one of those eating programs, you know what you're doing there. Okay, well, let's just stick with fiber as your friend on this one. So, however you get it, we're going to shoot for 40 here, get that minimal effective dose. We want to get above this. And I want you to think, how often do you even think about fiber? Is it only when you can't use the restroom, when your doctor mentions it, when weird people like Russ who actually think about it mention it? Or do you actually think about it sometimes and you're careful about that? If not, today I want it to be your awareness day, and I want to invite you to start checking labels before you eat anything in the next 24 hours. Let's do a little 24-hour challenge. Before you eat anything in the next 24 hours, what is the number of grams of fiber that you are getting in that? All right. So there are two types of fiber that you need to know about, and there's a ratio that we're trying to hit here. Also, a warning, go slow. If you are in this range right now, if you start looking at your ingredients over the next 24 hours to create your awareness, you're like, oh my gosh, I really am in that 20-gram span. Be careful to not introduce more than 3 to 5 grams, really over almost a week at a time. You will end up bloated. Well, you may end up bloated, gassy, and with some pretty significant bowel movements. So think about it this way. The two types of fiber we've got, one is called soluble. It's like the sponge. It becomes like gel when it gets in there. It can be broken down with water. And because of that, it really helps with our digestion. And some of the things that we get there with digestion is it's going to attach to cholesterol, help cholesterol move out. And it helps with blood sugar to regulate blood sugar so we don't get spikes in that, and that's why it helps with the glycemic index of foods as well. So some really good benefits from the soluble fiber that we get. For my apple, that would be the inside portion of my apple is the soluble fiber. That's what's going to help and become that spongy part. The outside, the skin, which is the same for most fruits and vegetables, is that when we eat the outside and keep those skins on when we're eating them, whether it be potato, um, peas, you want to, I'll talk about peas and corn in just a sec. They've got insoluble fiber outsides, and those act as scrubs. So they don't break down in the water, but they act as like bulk in our digestion to help us have good bowel movements and move smoothly. And so that's why I've got regular bowel movements and constipation to help there. Um, but here's what you want to think about. So when you're eating small vegetables or grains like corn, peas, where it's got an insoluble outside. Those can be easy to swallow, and that's why it will show up as whole foods in our stool when we use the restroom if we haven't been eating carefully and masticating everything, like biting it all up. So it acts as good insoluble fiber in that, but you are missing the soluble fiber. So when you're eating peas, corn, think other little veggies and grains that would have that insoluble outside that anytime you see it come out as a whole food in your bowels, you want to try to eat that up as much as you can because then you get the soluble side and the insoluble part that is the only thing that we get when we just swallow it whole. Um, so there is a ratio. You don't, this is just going to be natural. Think about this ratio right here, I guess, as I'm eating. Um, well, this hard, it probably looks off, but because it looks like there's more on the inside, but the fiber that I'm getting on the inside of this apple that's soluble and the outside that's insoluble helps me get a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 ratio. And that's normally how foods are set up. So if you're eating legumes, beans, grains, anything again that has some kind of a skin to it, and then an internal, you're going to be getting a pretty good natural uh, dosage of that 1 to 2. I just want you to be aware of that because we do need both. We need the one to help with the digestion, the cholesterol, the blood sugar, the other to help keep us regular and keep us moving well to be able to do that. Some of the benefits that we gain from this, not just uh, being able to use the restroom well, but again, going with these, we get sustained energy. So that fiber is going to help us use that energy longer because it's not going to spike our sugar. And so we get a nice gradual use of that energy. We are going to be more satiated. So again, as we have mindful eating, really chewing up our food, not only is that going to slow things down for us and help us out, but also that fiber is going to help us feel more filled because we will be. And it's going to lead to less cravings. So when you are looking for something to eat, like a carrot would be a really good one. And again, a lot of times we're peeling the outsides of things or stripping peels off like apples and stuff. If we eat those peels, that's going to help us to have both types of fiber, the soluble on the inside and the insoluble on the outside. And then fat burning. It actually helps with us with our ability to burn fat as well. I know it's not the scientific way to say it, but it's the way that we communicate as we do that. And it will really lead to greater longevity and weight management for you as a result of all of these benefits. So I'm going to go through my lunch really quickly. Again, I start with by hydrating with 24 ounces of water because I don't necessarily need to eat enough food to fill me, but that's what we do a lot of times. And so this not only hydrates me, but it helps me start to feel full as I get into it. And I want to practice, in one of my other videos, we talked about eat 80 or a Japanese practice of hara-hachi-bu, which means essentially fill your stomach to 80. And they think about that when they're going in to eat. So my lunch looks really simple, but it's got the perfect amount of calories and the right proportion of fiber and protein to go with it. Also, bring up protein. This is another warning. If you are increasing your protein intake, you want to make sure that you've got some good fiber to go with it. If you're on one of those diets where you're not eating that kind of stuff, then you need to get it in your protein. Just add it, the scoops, because fiber is one of those things that can make you feel, or excuse me, protein is one of those things that can make you feel constipated. And so if you're upping your protein, you also need to be careful about the amount of fiber and the amount of water that you're getting. Both of those are really going to help out. So I've got my 40 ounces or 40 grams of protein and about 10 ounces of water here. And again, check out my other videos to see why I'm going to recommend 40 ounces there. But that's really helpful for us at age 40 and above. Got my apple ready to go. This has 3 grams of fiber. Also, a cool thing about fiber, if you're tracking macros or carbohydrates and sugars, fiber is going to help count against that so that, again, because it's going to help with your sugar levels. So maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But this is going to give me um, good fiber, about 1 gram of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and I'm going to get soluble and insoluble from that one. And then the peanuts, I'll probably go into this on another one, the difference between why I moved from peanut butter to peanuts. But essentially, it's more volume, less calories, same amount of fiber. If I had 2 tablespoons of Adam's peanut butter, which is what I usually use, versus peanuts, then I would get 3 grams of fiber, 8 grams of protein, and however, this is 170 calories for the peanuts, quarter cup, compared to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which usually, I don't know, maybe you're better than me. I'm not a 2 tablespoon kind of guy. So it really, this whole lunch, often in the past when I've just used Adam's peanut butter, this whole lunch would be the caloric intake of just the peanut butter alone. And so although I'm not a calorie counter, I do recognize and understand that every calorie counts. And so I do want to be mindful of that and get the best energy in my body. And by eating one peanut at a time, it really helps me to slow down my eating, enjoy my eating, and have more of that hara hachi bu or eat 280. Again, this isn't going to fill me up right here, but going along with 24 ounces of water, I feel really satiated. I shouldn't eat that peanut when I'm done. All right. Well, if you haven't decided yet, I want you to consider making fiber. I'm going to die here. Consider making fiber your friend. However you decide to get it. Get it. It will bless your heart. It will bless your arteries. It will bless your gut. It will bless your bowels. It will bless you through your longevity, and you will feel better. Again, you can, I'll introduce some ways you can do that, but essentially think of natural foods that have an inside and an outside and eat both and eat them, crunch them up with your teeth. All right. Okay. Finally, as we wrap up here, I want to invite you once again. If you weren't convinced before, hopefully from what you just experienced, you think, I like what Russ is sharing. I like Russ. This feels like my vibe. I think this is my tribe. Jump on in here. We've got a community of men who are ready and willing to make some changes together. And again, you're looking for Stronger Over 40 on Skool. I'll drop the link for you wherever you happen to find this. Last case scenario, you can just go to Skool and check us out. But easy link, free. As soon as you click on that link, you're in between now and December 1st. And remember, Skool is more fun when you bring your friends. So bring your friends to Skool and let's all grow and get healthier and meet our goals better together as we enter this new year. All right, my friends, until video 10, get out there, make fiber your friend. Remember, our challenge is this. Check the ingredients, Google it when you're eating, track how much fiber you're getting in the next 24 hours, and then see what you need to do to make that better. Okay, until video 10, my friends. Bye-bye.